Welcome back to the Key and J Booked Podcast. I am your co-host Jay, along with my co-host Key, and today we are going to be finishing up Sara Ochs' The Resort.
Yep.
These last couple chapters had me in a doozy. I was
Yep.
befuddled, I was distraught, and then I had my oh my god, what the F moment. We
Yes. Like,
ended off chapter 21, so we ended off with chapter 21 and we can go into chapter 22. Cass and Logan is having it out. They're having that first argument about everything. This is like when you fed up with everybody, with everything that everybody's doing between both parties, and you just want to have it out. This is when everything gets thrown at you, all the secrets, everything you've been holding in. Now it comes out to light, and we find out that Brooke, my son Batman was outside on the deck. You
on
know
the
what I'm
deck,
saying? Hiding on
hiding.
the side. And I'm like,
Yes.
yo, Brooke is really out here like trying to be mischievous. Like, bruh, what if you'd have got caught in the crib? You feel me? And she's listening to Cass and Logan argue, and Logan is throwing the stuff about the Xanax, and she's throwing the stuff about Jacinta and how the ring was found at the bottom of the ocean, and they're kind of just throwing these verbal jabs at each other, trying to kind of get under each other's skin because it's all out. So, what did you think?
I think exactly what you thought. It was like
Mm-hmm.
verbal sparring. Finally, things are
Yep.
coming to a head. What I found really interesting was again how stupid Cass is because they're arguing. And if y'all remember, Logan's ring was found near Lucy's body after she
Mm-hmm.
drowned. And Cass was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it back to him later." Blah blah blah. In this chapter, Logan tells Cass, "Oh, I actually have my ring. Where's
Mm-hmm.
your ring?" And it turns out that he tried to manipulate her into thinking it was her
Come on
ring
now.
that was
Facts.
found in the thing is, this is why I felt like Cass just wasn't thinking very clearly. You know your man's a liar. Okay. She
Mm-hmm.
confronts him about the Jacinta thing. I seen you with her. And he says, "Oh, she kissed me, but I told her." And the thing is, this is why I said in the previous chapters, she
Mm-hmm.
made it very, very clear what she saw. He kissed her. She did not kiss him. He kissed her. And now he's trying to blame everything on Jacinta. So that was a red flag for me, number one. Number two, I think that he really did lose his ring. Like it was next to the body in the water. And now he's trying to tell Cass, actually, where's your ring? And the thing is, if she would have thought about it, girl, his ring was sitting in that box with the Xanax, like in the little
Come
thing.
on now.
He could have taken it out, put it on his, and then his that you put away is still sitting. Like, come
Basically
on.
trying to manipulate her, and because she was on the pills, he trying to make it seem like that wasn't my ring, that was your ring. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Now she coming to, and now she's starting to figure out like, no, bro, I had my ring. That was really your ring. And you tried to do the okey doke and switch and have me
And
feel like
switch it.
I'm going crazy.
And
Right.
especially with knowing how the book ends, it was just like it didn't make sense that he was really trying to convince her, like, you
Mm-hmm.
did this, like you could have done it. Then he goes,
Right.
"I did talk to Lucy that night. Did you maybe see me
Mm-hmm.
talking to her?" Because he's already trying to put the picture in her head. Look, you killed Jacinta because you were jealous. You probably killed Lucy because you were jealous because it was actually your ring found there. And I'm like, Cass, but she believes him. Jay,
Yeah,
she
she's
believes
so
him.
stupid,
She
man.
she takes it and she's like, okay, I
She's so
believe it.
stupid for
You
real.
know what?
She's
What am
stupid.
I thinking? And then again, I've told you how much I have been frustrated with this author's use of Xanax as being the devil. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
he says, "I'm going to take this from you." You don't take someone's Xanax that has anxiety. Okay.
Right.
You tell them, "Look, bitch, don't be drinking. Don't be drinking and doing Xanax. You're not supposed to be mixing alcohol with
Mixing.
your psychiatric medication. Stop doing that." But it was like he made her feel like a junkie because she was taking Xanax. It's a anxiety medication. What is the problem with her taking Xanax? Anyway, it just made me hate Logan. This whole chapter made me hate Logan. I already didn't like him because he's a lying, cheating piece of shit. He cheated on this girl, but now he's trying to set her up and make it seem like she is the
Right.
one who killed these people. No, I was done with Logan in this chapter. Absolutely, I couldn't stand him. I hated him. I was like, "You bitch!" And then Cass is like really going for it. It really made me feel like, girl,
She's a
stand
sucker.
up.
She
She's
just
a
in love.
sucker.
She in love. She in
She's in
love.
love. But why would you want to be in love with a man who kissed another woman and you know
Mm.
it? And he tried to lie to you about it. And I could go on and on, but we'll continue. But it just that is what I felt about that chapter. He pissed me off supremely.
Moving into moving into chapter 23. The conversation, what Logan and well, Brooke is kind of having this like this come to she's trying to get out the crib, basically. She's trying to get out the crib. Logan unstormed out, and now Brooke is left with Cass in the crib. So now she's trying to just creep her way out the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, I want to get out the crib. And I'm just like, yo, Brooke pissed me off the whole book, even towards the end of the book, and we'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I'm like, she see Cass in the shower and all that extra stuff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
she's not gonna get caught. I thought that Logan was gonna come back and catch her
Catch her.
in
I
the
did
crib.
too. I did. I was like, she gonna get caught, and she didn't,
Right.
and I was
And
mad about
she
that.
didn't get caught. And then we kind of see, the whole burner phone and the phone calls. And then I'm just like, that kind of chapter, it really wasn't too much that happened. It was just Brooke getting out the crib,
Yep.
seeing more evidence of, from the burner phone and trying to put her piece of the puzzle together. And then we move over to chapter 24, where she was having that conversation, and she was like, she gets a message saying that they found, basically Cass got a message saying that they found Daniel's killer.
Yep.
And
And
I'm
guess
like,
what it was?
it's still too early.
It's still too early, and it didn't make any sense. It made no sense.
And I was like,
They
all
said
right,
Sing Fat
yeah,
did it.
confess, like Singfet confessed. And Cass knew it was no way that Singfet actually killed him. And I'm like, why would Doug call her and, what I'm saying, tell her that? And he's talking about, it was a drug deal going bad. And I'm like, bro, you just throwing stuff on it. And I'm like, why? He's the waiter at the Tiki Palm, bro. He's not
Right.
involved in no Thai mafia, no
He
drug
don't
deal
even
going
speak.
bad.
He doesn't even speak Thai. Cass ends up saying that he doesn't even speak the language of the place where he's
Exactly.
living. He like, how the hell did he go and confess? And what was the motive of him killing Daniel?
Right. And he talking about, oh, Frederick wasn't paying him enough money. And Doug said he had to do it to he was making ends meet. And I'm like, bruh, he
It
did
sounds
not kill
like he
Daniel, bro.
is the scapegoat. Somebody
Scapegoat.
set him up or something. And the crazy thing is, Cass also talks about the treatment of the prisoners
Hmm.
in the Thailand jail. Like she talks about there was one tourist who he was mouthing off to the police. He got sent to the Thailand jail and they had like beat his ass, removed the fingernail and everything. And
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm just like, poor Sing Fat. I mean, when she said, oh, they said Sing Fat did it, I knew he didn't do it. There was no
Hell
way that
no,
he did it.
Singfed didn't do that.
But at this
Everybody
point,
knew.
I'm really like, it really could be any of the permanents. I'm like, in my head, I
Hmm.
know for sure. I don't think it was Cass, especially with the
Nah.
way Logan was trying to set her up. I don't think it's Brooke because as she's finding out all these things about Cass, she's getting more and more angry. She's like, I thought I could trust her. I don't think that she did it. So it has to be one of the permanents: Greta, Doug, Logan, or Neil. It has to be one of them four. Greta.
Greta. So
Yep.
then we take a trip. All right, let's take a trip back to somebody's past, right?
Yep.
And they're at this college swim party. And
Mm-hmm.
then she goes upstairs with this man. This mysterious person goes upstairs with this man, and then she gets raped. She gets sexually assaulted. And we're talking about none other than Brooke, who was raped after she met a young man at a college library. And when she was raped, like he basically like forced his way into her. And Brooke was just so like she couldn't move. She felt, just like a rape victim. And I kind of felt for Brooke. I was like, damn, why did the author put this in the book? But it means something. It's going to mean something later. So we find out in Brooke's past that this is what led to her being hospitalized
Yes.
because she got raped. Nobody would help her, right? But
Mm-hmm.
as she's running out, she sees the sun writes number 26. So not only was she the number 26 woman that this guy slept with throughout the year, he basically bragged about it. And everybody at the college party just kind of brushed it off because Sun was tapped in with a lot of people. I guess his family had money. So Brooke felt like when she was trying to go ahead and try to out him, try to get him to confess, she just felt like nobody would believe her, which led to her just
Yep.
slicing the wrist. And
Yep.
that's what made her go into the hospital. So we learned that piece. And that piece is very important because it's going to lead us into why she's actually on the island.
Yep. Yep. So my thing about Brooks' past was I was really confused about the sexual assault in the book.
Hmm.
And I say that because there's one part of the book where Brooke literally says the guy says something like, "Hey, do you want to see my room?" And she's like, "Oh, this is just what I was hoping for. I can't wait for his."
Exactly. So
And
I
she
was
said,
lost.
I can't wait for his lips to be on mine. Like so
Come
in my
on.
head, I was thinking, so you wanted to go to his room, you wanted to do it,
Hmm.
so I was confused why she claimed that she was sexually assaulted. And for me, I'm just like, if a guy is going to rape somebody, listen, I mean, some guys are assholes. They're literally disgusting pigs. But why
Hmm.
would he do it with a room full of people sitting downstairs? That didn't make any sense to me. And then high fives them. The point was he was trying to sleep with as many people as possible. That was his goal. It wasn't like, oh, this is 26 women that I've raped. You know what I mean? And even when they get to the room, he says, do you or do you not? And she's like, yes, but you know what I mean? So she did, but I think she was upset because he was being so rough with her. Maybe she felt like he wanted to be a little bit more romantic, and I don't want to say, I would never tell a woman you weren't sexually assaulted. I think that's insensitive. If that's how you feel, girl, then hey, I stand by you. But for me, I feel like the author could have done a bit more to make the sexual assault clear, because I seriously,
I thought
like, I
she
had,
was wanted it. She wanted to kiss him.
she wanted to kiss him. I thought she
Hmm.
wanted it, and she acted like she wanted
Yep.
it, and it. So I was just like, was she raped? Like,
I don't
I
know,
feel like
man.
if you're gonna use sexual assault as this is the reason for her revenge, this is the reason why
Hmm.
she's on this Thai island, like trying to figure out what's what, then it needs to be clear. It was so vague in the book. Like this year, like afterwards when she said that she got sexually assaulted, I'm like, did you though? I thought that that's what you wanted, but I digress. What made me mad about Brooke was when she walks into that house to meet up with that guy, the person who opens the door is who, Jay? It's Cass.
Big.
It's Cass. The person who simply opens the door into the house that Brooke is going in is Cass. And when she leaves, she glances and she sees Cass with empty eyes.
Hmm.
Now she wants to get revenge on Cass because Cass simply opened the door to the house that she was raped in. What
Right.
sense does that make, Jay? What
And
sense does
she,
that make?
but she also blames Cass like she could have stopped it. But it
What
was
does she
other
have
people
done?
at the. It was other people
Jay,
there too. She
Jay,
wasn't
that
the
was
only
my point.
person there.
That
So
was
why
my
are you
point.
blaming Cass?
Why are you blaming Cass? It was a room full of people downstairs. All this girl did was open the door. It's not like the guy said, hey guys, I'm about to rape this girl. How was
Hmm.
Cass supposed to know what was going on in that room? She was friends with him. She knows that he's sleeping his way through campus. How was she supposed to
Facts.
know you didn't want it? Y'all never talked to each other. You came down the stairs. You didn't scream. You didn't tell anybody, he raped me. You walked out the door. That was it. And then
Stomped downstairs and walked out
stopped
the
downstairs
door. Like,
and
how are
walked
we
out the
supposed to
door.
know that? You know what I'm saying? Like that was going on upstairs. Now, nobody. If you'd have been screaming rape, we don't know. But I
We
just
don't
felt
know,
like
but you
she kind
said
of blamed Cass
she blamed
prematurely.
she blamed Cass incorrectly. None of what
Hmm.
happened was Cass's fault. And what really disgusted me about this book too was the fact that when Brooke talks about getting revenge, she says, "Oh, I'm not going to go after the guy because Eric, because he's rich, he has a family, he has plenty of connections.
Right.
I probably wouldn't be able to like get through to him. There's nothing I can do. But you know what?
Right.
I'm going to go after Cass." I'm like, so you don't go
Because
after the
Cass an
man,
easy target.
so you don't go after the man who sexually assaulted you, but then you're gonna go after the girl who opened the door. That didn't make any sense to me. I mean, that is. I was enjoying the book a lot up until that point. I will admit. I'm telling you because I was like, I gotta know, why does she hate Cass? Is it something connected to Cass's past? We know that
We
she's
knew something.
new. Cass got a sketchy past, but the fact that she opened the door in the house that you got raped in, and so you went after her, and specifically that she said, "I'm not gonna go after the man. I'm gonna go after the woman who opened the door." I was like, "Girl, you want to ruin this woman's life because you were sexually assaulted and you don't even go after the man who did it." And I'm not gonna keep going on and on about it, but
You
that
good?
to me dropped the book 2 stars automatically.
Ooh,
I'm sorry, I was
it's a
enjoying it.
harsh
Two
jump, man. It's a
stars
harsh jump.
automatically.
So right
One
now we
because
at a 3. Let's see if we can get back it. Let's see if we can get
let's
back up
see,
to at least a
let's see.
3.54. But then they finally have it out. Brooke and Cass, they go at it, confrontation, and she realizes that she's the girl from the swim house. And she accuses her about she basically accuses her what you said from everything that led up to her being hospitalized until now. Like everything that she feel like happened to her happened because Cass didn't step up and help her take down Eric. And I'm like, now we see why Brooke tried to kill herself. She tried to get lawyers to help to get Eric convicted, but nobody would take her case. I'm assuming because Eric had good parents, positive, you know what I'm saying, like positive, powerful people that might have been role models in the community. Um, and that's when she tried to off herself. She ended up in a psych ward. That's why she had to leave school. That's why she left her hometown. And she showed these scars to Cass and she blames her. She blames Cass. And that's exactly what you were saying. And I'm like, yo, you can't just like blame somebody, and I have it right here. Like you can't just blame somebody for something that happened to you and they don't want to help you. It's like we don't know why Cass didn't want to help you. Cass going through her own stuff. You know what I'm saying? We don't know why she didn't want to help you. Everybody got their own problems. And not to say that she wasn't a victim because she was. She didn't do it. Why you didn't go after, like you say, why you didn't go after the man?
Yeah,
The
why you
man is the one who took it from you. Cass
took
didn't
it
take it
from
from
you.
you.
She didn't.
Cass didn't drug you. She ain't do none of that. So you was clear headed when you went upstairs. So I was just like, I don't really know what, you know what I'm saying? And that's how, I don't know what she thought that, what was going to happen behind that.
Well, and I felt that that was part of the story that seemed a little false to me.
Hmm.
So Brooke talks about how she told her lawyer, "Oh, there was this person there. Go talk to them." My thing is, why would a lawyer be going and questioning a witness?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would Brooke's lawyer go and question Cass and Eric's girlfriend? Why? The lawyers don't do that shit. It's the detectives or the cops who do that. So that was another thing. I was like, okay, plot hole. This would not happen. Why is the lawyer going and questioning? You know what I mean? One, like that's the police. Because the thing is, say the lawyer said, "Oh, this is what Cass said." That has not been entered into police evidence.
Nope.
That's hearsay at that point. It wasn't
Actual
recorded.
hearsay. Facts.
Actual hearsay. It's like, what your lawyer going to do? One, and then two, this is why I said the author did not make this clear. None of the people downstairs perceived Brooke to be a rape victim. So when the detectives came, not the detectives, what should have been the detectives, when the lawyers
Right.
came and asked Cass and Eric's girlfriend if he raped Brooke, they're both like, no. He would never do something like that because he
She
would
didn't
never
scream for help. She didn't
scream.
scream for
They
help.
didn't know
She
that
said
she
she
was
was
sexually
hopeless
assaulted. They go up into the room. They know he's fucking up there. They
because
come
he
back
got
down.
25
He
before
got
she turned
25
26 and
before her. So
nobody else.
maybe he's a pig, right? But what man who plans to rape a woman is going to offer her, "Come into my house"? He even,
No
remember,
drugs.
she
No
went
drugs.
into the
No
living room.
drinks.
She
Straight.
said hi to the people in the living room. "Oh, hey guys, this is her. You want to go up to my
Hmm.
room?" He introduces her to everybody. If he was planning on raping her, why would he do that? Why would he do that? It's just like, hey, she didn't scream. Like, so
She could have
that
wrote it a little bit better. She could have wrote.
that's what it was. Because
She could have wrote it a little
I
bit better.
want Brooke to be a victim. I really do. Like, I feel for her, like that she went through this, but I'm like, why would you make it this vague? And again, what sense does it make? She's literally putting, "I tried to kill myself because of you. I was raped because of you." You weren't raped because of Cass, first of all. Like, get that out of your head. So that's what frustrated me about the ending of this book. We finally get to the twist. We see the reason why Brooke hates Cass. She's like, "I hate her." Like,
Hmm.
she writes, remember Jay, she writes this whole
It
article on
was
her Instagram. Remember, Brooke is a social media influencer. She's a very popular influencer. So anything that she posts is going to be widespread. And I think this comes into play later when the events at the end happen. But Brooke actually pins this Instagram post, basically connecting Cass not only to her past and what happened with her brother or her sister and her dad, but she also says, "Oh, and guess what, guys? There's other people who have winded up dead on this island and they're connected to Cass."
exactly.
And I was like, "Brooke, you have no evidence that it was Cass. You have no evidence. There's nothing that says it's Cass. You're writing this false Instagram post blaming Cass for something that you have no proof that she did." So I was even more furious at Brooke. Like, I hated her by the end of the story.
Yeah, because when she released that article, everybody's calling Brooke, and
Yeah.
he's like, Logan's like, tell me it's not so or whatever, and Brooke is
Or
like,
Cass.
Cass is no, well, Brooke is like, I finally got it. Yes,
Finally got
I'm
it. Yes.
about to blow her whole cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then she's like, Cass, and now Cass is like, what the hell is going on? So she's just
What
kind
did
of
I do to her?
right. What did I do to her to make it? And then that's when Cass realized that Brooke was just following her around to get information. That's when everything started to click. I'm like, damn, how much Xanax was you taking? You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, okay, Cass is freaking out because everybody she got missed calls, missed texts. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to figure out how to do this. So she goes to goddamn Greta's house.
To Greta's house.
And when
Greta.
she gets to Greta's house,
Mm.
she's telling her everything that happened. Then she says Logan told her that he has to leave, like basically that his ring wasn't like she told him the ring wasn't missing. It was, like he stole it and put her ring there with him trying to convince her while she was confess. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like she went to Greta like trying to confess because Greta's like the mother figure.
She's
So
the mother.
she went to Greta to kind of express what just happened between Logan, and then she got this other thing over her head. So Greta's like, like, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, why is she talking to Greta's too calm? Like
She's too
Greta's too
calm.
calm.
I
So I'm
thought the
like,
same thing. She's real, real
and
calm.
then she finally confessed to Greta that Logan killed Lucy. So I'm like, bruh, why would you say that? You know the mother hen is gonna do what? Protect her flock. So I'm
She's
like,
gonna protect
yo,
her flock.
why are you what's wrong with you? So after that, so Brooke is being followed and she's cornered. at the mountain, right? And the person could follow. I'm like, bro, come on. We know it's not. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was over for Brooke. You know what
I
I'm saying?
did
I thought it
too.
was
I
over.
was
But
like,
I'm
"This
like,
the same
oh
mountain that
man,
Jacinta died on." Now,
exactly.
not that I
But
was
now
mad. I wasn't
I'm
upset
like,
if they was gonna
oh,
push
if
her
she would
off.
have died, right,
I was
right,
like,
right.
"Good riddance." But yeah,
And then this dark figure appear out of the shadow, and this is where we first meet Alani, and she came with Lucy. We found out that Lucy didn't come by herself.
that was
Alani
that
was the
other
one.
toothbrush. Remember that when they broke
Yep,
into Lucy's room, there were two toothbrushes,
yep.
and they were like, "Who else came with her?" It was
Could
a
it be?
Yep.
So it was Alani, and she came with Lucy, and she figured that she can trust. They had a plan to try to figure out what was going on. Lucy wanted to take down the permanents because she believed that they killed her sister Lucy, and now Alani believes that they killed Lucy. So she was trying to just go through with her plan, and she's like, Lucy. We find out that Lucy and Jacinta
Our
were
sisters.
sisters,
Yep.
and I'm like, okay, the writing is picking back up now.
It's
At first,
picking
I
back
was
up.
mad at the cast situation,
Yep.
but I was like, okay, so now Jacinta said this explains why Lucy was there because you're underage, well, at the age, but still kind of underage to me. 18 is still not. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
you young.
You
Yeah.
still young. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, and
I was
that's what
like,
she
where are their
wanted to do.
parents? They're in Thailand. How did they even get the fucking money to get the plane ticket over there? That's what I was wondering. I was like, you're 18 traveling by yourself. Like, and you're like, what the hell? But yes, Lucy and Jacinta are sisters, and she knows that her sister didn't just die. She knows that something happened to her
Something
sister.
else happened.
Yep,
Yep.
and of course Lucy's digging into it, which was eventually the cause of her murder. But yeah, Alani
Lucy
shares
got
with
the whole
Brooke
book
that
jumping. Yep.
she
She
does.
got the whole
Alani,
book jumping.
she confesses to Brooke what her and Lucy were there to do, and basically just says, like, I came here with her, and now I got to figure out what's going on with Lucy. Like, we came here together, like we was hiding, no one else knew. That's why we were in that room. We didn't even tell anybody else that I was here. La la la.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she trusts Brooke because Brooke is, although she is an American tourist in Thailand and she hangs with the permanents, as it's been said throughout the whole book, she is not a part of the permanents. They
She's not
don't
a
like
part of the
her.
fam.
They don't like her. And it's crazy that everybody else can see the same thing because remember, Alice reached out to Brooke, Lucy reached out to
Mm-hmm.
Brooke, now Alani reaching out to Brooke. It's like all of them can see her outsiderness and they're like, we can
Yeah.
trust her, which I'm like, this is a mystery book. You shouldn't trust anybody. But yeah,
And
they have
then
that conversation and yep,
And then we find out that Cass was spying on Greta the whole time. And then we find out that not only was Alice, Alice, right? Not only was Alice was her classmate. Well,
it was her
Greta was the
student.
teacher
Yep.
and Alice was the student. And I'm like, what is going on? And the reason why we found out the reason why Greta came over there was because she loved Alice so much she could not be in love with her and be her teacher at the same time. So she basically manipulated Alice
Into
to come over there
which
where
is
she
why
was at.
Alice always looked upset. Remember, Cass talks about
Yep.
Alice never
Mm-hmm.
seemed to fit in. She was never happy. Of course, she's not happy. Her teacher then kidnapped her and brought her to Thailand. Didn't I tell you the fact that the town that they were from was called Stockholm meant something?
Yep. Yep.
Like, I'm like, Greta, you freaking
So
sicko. How
now
you
we find out that Greta, but I knew something was up with Greta.
something was up with
Like,
Greta.
you
She
know,
accepted too much of Cass's bullshit. Like,
mm-hmm.
and I just felt like if you tell me, yeah, Kier, I killed somebody. I'm like, what? You did what? I'm not gonna be like, I get it, I understand. Unless I also did something equally as bad. That's how I feel. I'm not gonna just be chilling and you tell me Logan killed Lucy and this and this. Greta was, like you said, in that scene with Cass and Greta, like the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up because I was like, something's just not right about Greta. She seems way too calm. And then Cass picks up that yearbook or whatever book she picks up, and she realizes Greta was the teacher, Alice was the student, which is why
Mm-hmm.
Alice fled. Like she was like, I'm going back home.
Back home.
I'm going back home.
Back
I'm not
home.
staying here. The only problem is Greta seen Cass put the pieces together.
Yep.
And now it's a problem. And now we get to remember that Cass is the newest member to the permanents. So Greta and Logan were there, and Doug and then Neil, they are the core group. And although Cass is with
Came in. She's
Logan,
the last
she
one.
is still kind of an outsider. And you
Mm-hmm.
see that because Greta tells on Cass when she tries to escape. And who catches her, Jay?
Logan.
Logan,
Logan.
her man who
And
just, I don't want to
but
lose.
before that though, Brooke once she realized it and Cass was trying to get out of there, Brooke grabbed her, had a hand. So now we turning up. So now Greta got Brooke by the neck, and she like around her neck, and then she's just like she seen like Logan, Doug. They called her up, they picked her, and then we just find out that like the stuff on Lucy's neck that was from Greta.
That was from Greta.
And then we find out that Alani saw her, Logan, and Doug and Neil. After Greta called them, they picked up her body and threw her body in the goddamn water
Because
and tied her down to
they
something to weight her down,
because they
so
said they're
her
gonna
jump.
come back and get her later. Yep.
Exactly. And that's how the ring was there probably. And I'm like, so Greta is the one who we find out that Greta was the one who ultimately took Lucy out because I'm the mother hen. I'm gonna protect the flock. And she kind of just choked her. Greta gotta be played by some big brute. Well, I can't say that word, right? I can't. I don't know. That's not the word, right? Beautiful butchers, midnight monsters.
There was a girl who worked there. She was really, really like, she was a stud or whatever, but she referred to herself as a dyke. And I was like, I thought that was offensive. I don't know.
I don't
I,
know, man.
I
The
don't know. I'm
words, the
not as
words
in the
is.
trenches with that community as I want to be. So
But
whoever plays Greta, she'd have to be
gotta be
like
a stud muffin.
she had to be like Miss Trunchbull or something from Matilda. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It was like this real big, like javelin throwing bitch. Like Greta has to be like a big woman because she literally like took and like drowned Lucy, like just held her under the water by the back of her neck like
Exactly.
that. You know,
And then we find out that Cass is actually innocent. And Brooke has brought Cass. Brooke actually puts her in danger by releasing this article. So I'm looking at it like she's the one who's really innocent. Cass didn't do anything. And this is where it's like Cass and Greta get to fighting. And she realized they was basically setting her up. They was offing people and just covering it up. And Cass was just high off the Zen. So it was easy for her to kind of forget what was happening, what was going on. And I was like, damn, like we hated Cass in the beginning because we thought Cass had something. Now we feeling sorry for Cass. I like
yeah, I feel bad for her.
I like what the author did. And it's like that Tyler Perry movie, Acrimony. We hate dude in the beginning, but
But in
he
the
turned
end,
around and did some solid for you. He gave you 10 million. He bought your mom's crib back. You know what I'm saying? Like he
yeah,
did his part
but he
and giving it to
also
you.
gave the life that he owed to her, that he had promised
He ain't
her.
owe her nothing. She deaded him. You deaded me. How am I gonna come back to you if you broke up? You broke up with me, and what was the first thing she said when he came?
Tell you something about that movie. I'm gonna tell you something. To be honest, she should never been with him in the first place. Like, I think she just really had low self esteem. She wanted love. She bought this nigga a car. I'm like, y'all just met, girl. Like, calm
Right.
down. And he took it and he cheated on her, and he shouldn't have. But that caused her to lose. Like, she could never have kids because of that accident. So I feel like there was a point where he felt like he owed her,
Hmm.
like, I owe you this to stay with you. And I don't think that he was ever like really happy, but he felt like he owed her. Like, I didn't cause you to lose kids. You didn't buy me
Right.
a car.
And
You
he
didn't pay
paid
off
it. Right.
school fees. You know what I mean? But I feel like for 10 years, like he ran her ragged. He never had a job because of his criminal conviction. She's paying all the bills. He's not doing shit. He's not paying anything. And you seen, and when like she put him out, he went and got a job washing dishes. And I was thinking, so you couldn't do this shit when we was together? Like that's the thing. If my nigga don't got a job, I'm not the type of wife that's just gonna be like, you know what, I'm putting you out, I'm gonna make you feel bad, but you're gonna do something. You're gonna do something. I'm not gonna be cook, clean, and doing all this shit, and you ain't doing nothing. You better go wash some dishes. You better go drive for Uber. I bought you that car, didn't I? So
But go ahead.
I felt I was on Taraji's side because I was just like, you stupid in love, but he's really not trying, right? And then when she got finally fed up, and why wouldn't she? She finds out he's talking to the woman that he cheated on her with when they
But
was.
what was the first thing that he said to her when he came to meet up with her to give her all the stuff he had the flowers? She was like, "What? I'm not getting back with you." He's like, "Nah, I didn't come here for that." So right then and there, you set the standard. There was no coming back from that.
Yeah, women say that, Jay. We
But
want
you
to say,
can't do that. You can't do that because you see how she was stuck on stupid when he gave her the 10 million and then pulled out, oh yeah, here, these your mother's keys. And she was sitting there dumbfounded. So I paid my dues back. I gave you I gave you
I see what you mean.
trifold of what I made you a millionaire overnight. You know what I'm saying? I gave you that and I paid your mother house off. Why?
Nah,
Is nothing else for me to give you? It's
but
nothing else for me to give you.
she wanted him. She wanted to be with him. She wanted to be successful. He's been telling her all this time,
You
I'm
dumped me. It's over. I gotta move on.
I'm gonna get a boat in your name. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And let me tell you something. Me and
You
my
broke up
husband
with
have
me.
been in many arguments. You don't break up in a marriage, but every other day, I'm like, Michael, I'm dumping you. We're done. You don't break up with your husband, and he really be trying to get me back. Like, baby, I'm sorry. He's supposed to try. Like, you put this woman through hell for 10 years. I will admit, he bought the mama's house. He gave her the 10 million.
All that. All
Imagine,
that.
imagine. I could understand how she felt because imagine suffering with a nigga 10 plus years since y'all was in college, right? Spring. You're waiting for him to make it
It
big so y'all can
happens.
have the life that he promises you, and then he fucks up. Like she don't trust
I
him.
gave you 10 million. Go buy a boat.
Nah,
Go buy a boat and put
so
your
that
name on it.
you talking to
I
the wrong
gave her
person.
10.
I am a justifiable and known crash out. Okay, I'm crazy. I agree with everything she did in that video, everything she did in that movie. I was like,
Yeah.
I would have took it. You know what? She killed him at the end. If it was me, nobody would have made it off that boat alive. But yes, comparing it to acrimony, yes, we hated Cass. We felt like she was
Mm-hmm.
stupid. We get to
Right.
the end, we find out how her dad and her sister really died. Her dad is
Mm-hmm.
a freaking psycho, and
Mm-hmm.
he shouldn't have done this. But this is why I said this author must really hate Xanax because it's like it's the Xanax is the criminal in this book. Cass went off to college.
Uh-huh.
Her sister was left with the dad. The dad had bipolar disorder or something like it. He had never been diagnosed. Cass was worried because he was getting abusive. So she went to her school's like health center and is describing all her dad's symptoms, hoping that they can give her some medicine. They give her
Cause
Xanax
she thinking it's her. Cause they thinking it's her.
because they thinking it's her. So she gives Cass Xanax, and when Cass meets up with her dad and her sister in the hotel, she
Mm-hmm.
slips a little bit of the Xanax into some alcohol, and she wants to try to like give it to her dad secretly to see if it works. She doesn't want
And
to
some
freak him out.
champagne because they was just having a good
Champagne.
time.
They was having a good time, and it turns out that her sister recently developed a heart condition,
Yeah.
and the
And she
champagne
ain't know.
mixed with the Xanax killed her. So that's
Over
how her
over
sister died. Overdosed her. Her dad went crazy, stabbed Cass,
stabbed Cass. Yep.
and
And she
so, which
knew
is what she took the car. She
the
wasn't
only
gonna
way
make
to
it out of that
offer them,
hotel
right.
unless she defended herself. So that's why she killed
She
her dad.
had to.
But it wasn't. And something else that I really hated was we get to the end too, and we find out like that the police and the detectives and the investigators, they never told the public that Cass didn't do it. They never told them that, and they kept saying Cass never talked about it. Why would she have to? She was acquitted.
She was acquitted.
She was acquitted. She wasn't guilty. No charges were pressed, and the detectives knew exactly what happened. She killed her dad out of self defense, and like it was just like, why would the detectives not say that? But I really did feel bad for Cass. Like she really was running away from her past, and honestly, she
Facts.
told that story, and I was like, you really did do nothing wrong. Like you really were trying to help. You didn't know about your sister's heart condition. You would have had no way of knowing, which I don't know why her sister
Exactly.
didn't tell her. They're
And
feeding
that
really
was
close.
the stuff she was hiding from Logan.
Yeah. And she tells him, and he says, I just it's too much. I gotta go. I
Right.
need some
And
time.
because it was too
Thinking,
late at that
I'm
time, because there was
thinking
so much
you
going
you
on.
you need time to deal with the fact that Cass
Give
accidentally.
my man Logan some grace.
No, I will never give him grace, Jay. Never. Go ahead, go ahead.
Especially,
We almost
especially after what he did, because Greta's cutting through the door trying to take Cass out. She had to jump out the window. So now picture this, right? Cass Secret's come because I want to bring everybody back. Cass Secret comes out. She goes to Greta to try to get some guidance. She realizes Greta's not really being truthful. Greta's like, oh yeah, she found out. Now it's time to let me call Logan, get him over here. Basically, it's time to
Yep.
kind of get her, you know what I'm saying, tie her up and all that extra good stuff. So we find out that Greta's trying to chase in the bathroom. Cass locked herself. She's looking for a way to get out. She jumps out and she runs. She jumps out the window in the bathroom and she runs into Logan. So when she run into Logan, it's like this scary movie like Scream. And when Sydney ran into her boyfriend and he just put
Realize
the
that he was
mic up
part of
and he
it.
was like,
Yep.
I said, man. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, Logan is not going to be a part of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Logan kind of grabbed her up. And I'm like, bruh, what is happening? So when she runs into Logan, she do the thing with the chapters, cut it short. So now we go back into Brooke, and Brooke is having a car crash. She had a car crash, and I'm like, yo, all of this stuff is kind of happening
And
at
it's just
one team at
going,
one time, but it's
going,
going from
going.
different POVs.
Yep.
And this is where I thought she was bringing the book home because she had me reeled out. and then she reeled me back in.
She reeled you back
Because Brooke and Alani is together, and then they come into a car crash, and we realize obviously the person that ran into them was Doug, and basically they're like, she was like, "Shut up, bitch," and he basically kidnaps them and takes them hostage. And then now everything is happening so fast, so it's like Brooke's point of view, Cass' point of view, Brooke, but
which
all of this stuff is
also did a
happening.
really good job
So we
because
got
I
to give
feel
her another
like the
star. We bringing
yeah,
her back with the star.
we
Okay,
can we can bring it back. I feel like she like as
okay,
the book got closer and closer to the end, the suspense was revving up, and she did something really cool. She started shortening the chapters.
yes,
So
that's why I'm
it was
like,
like
because now
Brooke,
we
Cass,
seeing,
Brooke, Cass. At first, it was like Brooke, Cass. Now it was
yep,
like Brooke, Cass.
long drawn
And
out.
it's just like, oh my gosh, now I gotta hurry up and get back to this point of view because what's happening? What's happening? And both Brooke and Cass are going through their own
Hmm.
stuff. Cass has been kidnapped by Logan. Doug then got Alani and Brooke. Like, and now we know some ain't right with the permanents. We know Greta, she got short eyes. She likes her students, which is disgusting. We know Logan is a filthy, dirty piece of shit liar. We know Doug is suspicious because he didn't kidnap
We
Brooke.
hated Doug from the beginning.
I don't know what Neil at this point has to do with anything. He hasn't been overtly suspicious, but something I will say about Neil. Do you remember the part in the book? We didn't really touch on it that much. When Brooke went back to her room, this is before all this happened, and she discovered that someone had broken into her room. I think it was Neil.
Mm,
And I say that because remember when Neil was the only person that she was telling all this stuff, I think Doug did it. I think this happened. I
right.
think this happened. And he told her, leave it alone. So either Neil told Doug about it because Neil and Doug are roommates and Doug broke into Brooke's room or Neil broke
Neil
into Brooke's
just
room.
did it.
But that
Neil
was
just
the
did it.
one thing that I can say I feel like Neil did. He probably broke into Brooke's room to get some kind of evidence. And he steals the cell phone, like he steals Doug's cell phone, he steals the chargers and things like that. But so far, like I said, we can make a case for Doug, Greta, and Logan. We know what Greta did.
Right.
She's the one that So far, we don't
Drowned
really
her.
know totally. And of course, we know Neil, Doug, and Logan were there after Greta killed Lucy, but we don't really know if they've done anything else because Jacinta, who killed Jacinta? What does she have anything to do with it? And we're just nearing the end as all these revelations start coming out.
Yep, because we find out that we find out that Lucy was killed by Greta, and then we find out that Jacinta was killed by none other than
Neil.
Neil.
Yep.
Neil killed Jacinta. And I'm like, what the freak is going on here? Why would Neil kill Jacinta? Because let's go back now. The permanents now have Alani, Brooke, and Cass tied up in the rainstorm because they got them all. Logan grabbed up Cass, and then Doug got Alani and Brooke, and they bringing them all together. So now everything is together. We don't got no more separate chapters right now. So everybody is together. Cass is tied up in this rainstorm. So just think about it. The permanents are yelling how a movie would go when it's a thriller. They're like, I never thought you would kill. And they're on the floor. They're on
Yeah.
the floor tied up, and the permanents is trying to figure out what are we going to do with them. You know what I'm
How are we going to
saying?
get out of this? How are we going to spin this?
Right.
Because we
And
didn't
Brooke,
kidnap three people, and
yep.
now we got to figure out we didn't kill somebody.
And Brooke is saddened when he sees Neil and Logan has a gun. And I'm like, oh my God. Greta tried to convince Lucy Jacinta death was an accident, but when she didn't go for it, she had to be offed. You know what I'm saying? And when she didn't go for it, we right now we figure that Doug and we figure out that Doug killed Daniel for trying to blackmail him when they found out that them and
He seen that
Jacinta, it was
video.
Logan all along, right?
Hmm.
Because right now we thinking it's Logan, right? Logan is the one that killed Jacinta because they was having an affair, and it was up to what's the name is just raising up the gun at Brooke, and Kaz just kind of like she gives him the business emotionally as she shift blame, like she's basically trying to shame Logan. But he lifts up the gun and Cass is like, he tried to shift blame, but then he shifts it back to Cass. Like, no, you was the one that lied to me. You know what I'm saying? But it was because of this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
we
no,
had a great thing, Cass. We was doing it. I was doing it for you. And he's kind of confessing, like they kind of having that moment with them right there as he has the gun. And he was like, he didn't want to point it at her. So who he pointed at? Brooke.
at
And he's
Brooke.
like, it's because of this bitch right here. You know what I'm saying? Like she was the one who brought everything up. And you wanna tell the people what happened, man? Because this is a sad day.
Yeah, Logan shoots. Cass jumps in the way of the bullet, and Cass unfortunately dies. Rest in peace to my girl. I was really sad when Cass died. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Although I thought that she was kind of fickle, she
Mm-mm.
wasn't picking up on the signs. I really truly did not understand why she deserves to die. Like it's like she sacrificed herself, and I what makes me mad is that Brooke in the end is just like Cass sacrificed herself. I've forgiven her, and I'm like, you forgave her for what? You
What
had
did you
nothing.
forgive her for?
What did you forgive her for? She did
Like,
nothing to you. Like she's literally dead because of your dumbass. She's literally dead because of you. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was like, Cass, why are you sacrificing yourself to Brooke? You
why are
don't
you
owe
jumping in?
her
You don't owe her
anything.
nothing,
You
sis.
owe her
You
nothing.
don't owe
And
her
then
nothing.
Cass was the only one that I feel like was truly innocent. She didn't kill anybody.
Innocent.
She didn't try to throw
Innocent.
anybody under the bus, and she was the one person who decided to off herself.
The author had me sick, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Why would you kill Cass? Like,
So,
why would you kill her as she's basically committed suicide because she knew she was gonna die to
right.
protect Brooke. And I'm like, Brooke is nobody.
What are you protecting somebody who just dropped the story? All of this is happening because of Brooke right away.
Because of Brooke. And it just to me it just felt off. I didn't think that
Super
Cass
off.
was the character that would kill herself. I mean, she
Hmm.
was sad. She was on Xanax, but I didn't think that her character was one that felt like someone who was sacrificed. I mean, she didn't sacrifice for her dad. Like she could have killed herself when her sister died, but she killed her dad in self defense. Like I feel like, and there was a point in the book where Cass also was like, she stood at that mountain that Jacinta was on, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna go after whoever's following me. Like I'm not taking this standing
I'm
down.
not taking this down.
And so
I'm
he,
not
he
falling off
finally
this
got
cliff.
some balls by the end of the story. And you mean to tell me then she just
Facts.
kills herself? I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way that
True story.
she kills herself.
She
But
just jumped over the Jones. So then we get into, after Cass dies, after she gets shot, like the realization, like, and everybody's kind of, finicky over Cass and seeing what's happened. That's when Brooke gets loose. And Logan locks in on her, like basically like the bullet should have been for you
yep,
type jump. He shoots at her, misses. Brooke hides behind the table, but with no more shots left, my son Neil come in, stab Logan in the neck, and that's when Doug and Neil get the fight, which leads to Greta taking off after Alani, taking off toward the girls, and they get into a scuffle. Brooke is whooping her ass, you know what I'm saying, and drowning her in the mud dirt like she did with Lucy. Doug shoot Neil, and he points the gun at Brooke as she was about to so she had to let go of Greta. So basically, picture Doug and Neil fighting. He get the better of her, right? He get the better of him, and as Doug is about to, Lucy, Brooke is about to kill Greta. That's when Doug, what I'm saying, points the gun at, saying wants to shoot them all or whatever the case may be. But then we know that's not what happened.
that's not what happened.
Men come in everywhere as Doug is about to shoot them all. The sound from men coming in here and telling Doug to drop the gun. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? What is
Because
going
Cass
on?
is a social media influencer, and that post that she put, or it's not Cass, Brooke is a social media influencer, and that post that she put about Cass, it got nationwide attention, and the
Nationwide
police
attention.
came to where they were, and I
2
mean,
weeks later.
in the nick of time. I
Yep,
mean,
in the nick of
because
time, they came out to help him because they was about to go.
they was
They
about to
was out to get Doug was Doug was feisty anyway, so he was about to pull it.
go. Oh no,
Like he ain't like Brooke anyway. Remember, since the beginning, he
nobody liked
never
Brooke
liked Brooke.
except for Neil. Yep.
So he was about to unload on her. So we fast forward 2 weeks later, Cass and Logan both died from their injuries. So the two lovers, the actual couple, is the one who both died from their injuries. Rest in peace to Cass. Rest in peace to Logan. And the Thai police had to investigate because the British wouldn't let their old countrymen go to waste. Because we come to find out that Daniel wasn't even the actual killer. His girl he wasn't a rapist,
He
or he
wasn't a
wasn't somebody who sexually assaulted his girl. His girl found out that because he was trying to end things, she went and pulled one of those cards. I actually know somebody who actually went through that. So I was like, damn, man, it's just that easy for them to tarnish Daniel
And
legacy.
Daniel was an African man,
And he only left because of her.
like I feel like they definitely like that time when Doug was like, I mean, he looks the part. I definitely think they tried to stereotype him, especially, having him be like a rapist. And then to come to find out he did his time for that sexual
And
assault
he
and
didn't
he
even do
was
it.
innocent the entire
And
time.
the British was not letting that go. We want our due body. So they was putting pressure on them and they would have brought the whole island down. So I thought that was ill. Kind of gave Daniel that good send off or whatever the
Yep.
case may be.
I agree. Sing Fett got out of jail. They released
Fat,
him
right?
because
Get
they
my son
figured out
sing fed until he free.
literally because they was like, yeah, he did not kill
Right.
Daniel. It was Doug. And then we get to the end.
Well, we get to the part where you was talking about where they had to admit to everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or I was talking about the part probably after that.
No, you talking about the Neil part. Oh
The
no, no, we
Neil
gotta
part.
because
Yeah, yeah.
that
I'm about to
part
say that
deserves
comes
its
next.
own.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that part deserves. So we kind of find out that 2 weeks later, like all of this stuff happened. Brooke apologizes to Cass while she's dead, and I'm like, bro, why are you apologizing to Cass now? It's because of you.
It's because of your
Brooke
ass.
turned out to be the character that nobody that me I didn't like. You know
I
what I'm
didn't like
saying?
her.
And we
Me
find
neither.
out that it was a newspaper that Cass was painted as the massacre killer, but they actually cleared her name. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, so Daniel's getting his just due while he died. Now Cass getting her just due while she died. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I didn't really like that part. The author threw me off. But this is what happens in real life. You know, the author trying to invoke emotions out of us. So I felt like that was it. So Brooke ends up with Neil because the bullet missed any ligaments, any damaging ligaments. So he'll be okay. And Neil told her that they would blame, you know what I'm saying, that they would blame him for the murders if he came to police because we found out that Greta hid his passport. So he was basically trapped on the island. But he, you know, she was still loved. He still loved them because they was on his only family, you know what I'm saying, when he got there, you know, and then
Why? Why don't you tell them why did Greta hide his
yeah.
passport?
Well, Greta groomed. We found out that Greta groomed Alice when she was younger, forcing their relationship on her, saying she would tell her parents about their relationship, bringing her over there with them to the Thai island, and basically damn near trafficked her when she was a kid
No,
and
he
warned
did.
that she had pictures and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Logan was exposed because he was actually driving drunk and killed his brother over a girl, which he lied to Cass about. We kind of find out. So
That's
Logan
what
was a
I
liar.
said, Jay. I hated Logan. I hated him because we get to the end and he's all, Cash, you never told me like this hurt me. It was supposed to be me and
Mm-hmm.
you. You were setting her up for murder. You were
Yep.
literally setting her up for murder. You were trying to convince her she was crazy. You're a murderer.
Yep.
You're involved in a murder. And
Yep.
that's what blew my mind. He really was a piece of shit. If I felt like during the whole time maybe he's bad, but he always was trying to
Mm-hmm.
protect Cass, maybe I would have felt a different way because you can be bad, but you can protect the one you love. No, he was gonna throw her under the bus. They were
Right.
all trying to set her up as if she
Always trying to
was
keep something over her
yes,
head. Right.
yes. And so I did I lost a lot of respect for Logan. I really did. Cause he was a piece of shit. Like, how you gonna
And
set her up?
not only was he a piece of shit, but we found out that Doug was wanted for rape, whose real name was Michael Williams from Australia.
It doesn't
And
say
Doug blamed everyone else as he confessed to killing Daniel and explained how it began with Logan having an affair with Jacinta and he pushed her off after they took a hike in the morning. And Daniel was innocent. We found out that, like I said, Daniel was innocent of his sexual crime and that his accuser was mad because he basically broke up with her. Frederick was arrested for crimes financial wise
for
and
bribing the
cover ups
police.
and
Yep.
bribery and everything. Lucy's parents came to get her body and thanked Alani for helping her and Alani, you know, helping them find her daughter's killers. And it just was just like everybody was getting their just due. I like the fact that Lucy and them parents came because they finally wanted to get her body,
Yep.
and
You could go
bury
home
her
and
the right way, and everything was well. It's like everybody kind of got their ending. We know Doug is going to spend time in the Thai jail or go back to Australia because he was actually wanted for rape and
yeah.
other sexual
He's not getting
misconducts.
out.
So
That's the
he's not getting out. He ain't gonna do time in Thai. They're gonna send him back out so they don't have to deal with him. Logan and Cass is dead. Red is locked up as well. So two out of the five are 2 out of the 5 are dead. Two is in jail, and we only got one, Neil. So you ready to as we move on to this epilogue? I'm like, Neil, you mother freaker. You mother freaking Neil. Like you want to go because
we get to the end and we get to the
this is what made the book, and
epilogue.
I'll tell you how many mics I gave it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this we get to the end and we discover that Neil and Brooke made enough of a connection that they decide to stay together and they're going to travel together.
Travel abroad.
She's all happy, yay, yay, yay. Neil's all happy they found true love, blah, blah, blah. Well, then Neil starts to
Mm-hmm.
talk about what really happened, and he is the mastermind in all of it. First of all, secondly, he blackmailed kind of Greta into killing Lucy
Uh
because
huh.
if you don't handle this, I'm gonna tell about Alice, like, because I know that she was your student. So he was blackmailing her. He's the one who forced Doug to put on that black sweater and
Mm-hmm.
go handle his business. And we find out that it wasn't Logan who killed Jacinta. It was not Doug who killed Jacinta. It was Neil. And it turns out that Neil and Jacinta laughed at Logan. Like, oh, how could he think that
That
you
I'm in
like
love
him?
with you. Right.
Right. Because Jacinta and Neil had a relationship and he took her up to a hike and just pushed her off. Like, it
Because
to
he's a
me,
fucking crazy man.
he was, but it wasn't enough for me, honestly, because he
What?
it wasn't enough. Because where was the motive? He just randomly likes to push people off.
Yes, Neil was a serial killer, and I liked it.
I guess it just
It didn't pop for my co-host Key, y'all. It didn't pop.
it was something about it that just felt like that twist, like, oh, now he's the killer. It wasn't believable for me. And then he was like, we're gonna keep moving because I can't hide the fact that I've just, I basically he was admitting that he had just been killing people in Thailand. And my
Killing
thing was,
people.
so no one heard about the other deaths. I'm so confused. We only know about one. If he's been just killing women, where are these other people? Why is he killing? The thing is, I don't mind a twist where a guy is a killer, but where is his history? Why does he just like to kill? Is it just women? Is it
Right.
men? I mean,
Nah, it's not.
and then why? He likes Jacinta. Why would he take her and just shove her off?
He's a fuck. Because, like, in the audio book, because he's a fucking madman.
I just felt like
He killed Daniel,
if he
right?
stabbed her to death, like I would have believed that more. But
Right.
he just took her
Well,
there and just pushed her off. It
he
wasn't
did
enough.
cut Daniel's throat, though. He's the one who actually cut Daniel's throat, and he
Yeah.
couldn't get the phone because he heard somebody in the alley,
It
which turned
was
out to be
Brooke.
Brooke.
Yep.
So basically, he was the one who killed Daniel and couldn't get to Daniel's phone. And then we realized now we know who was the person who ran off when she said she heard something.
Yep.
It was him
It
that
was
ran
him.
off. So I was like,
So
yo,
it was a twist. Neil was the one character. He
he
was
killed his parents.
he killed his parents.
He killed his parents. So his upbringing was crazy. He was in the group home. He doesn't have any emotions. He was beating up people in the group home.
He is a
He
psycho.
planted the passport and would track her down and slice. He basically told Greta, I will slice her up. And I'll do it. I'll find her. I will find Alice. And he said the only thing Greta loved more than anything permanence was Alice. So he's like, he would find her and cut her ass
And
up.
Alice actually loves Greta as well, which is why she never replied back to Brooke. She didn't really want
Yep.
Alice, or she
And
didn't really want Greta to be in trouble.
he
Even though
said
she
Doug
kind of
was such
warned
a
her.
nobody. He did try to warn her. He said Doug was such a
I just,
nobody that nobody would believe him. And he said, now I can go and be the perfect boyfriend and have the picture perfect boyfriend life. And
yeah.
I
Well, good
said,
luck
what
to
a
Cass.
way.
Good luck to Brooke. All I can say is, she got what she was asking for. Like
She
you
got a crazy boyfriend right
got a
now.
crazy boyfriend.
And
Like
he's like,
you thought
I
the
could just
permanence was
get
bad. You
it.
thought you was just so smart figuring out all this fucking information. And look at you now.
And
You're
the whole time it was your boyfriend, your
my
new
thing was
boyfriend.
I didn't understand why. Like, okay, remember when Cass was describing how she seen Logan and Jacinta? It was like they were on a date. His hand is on her lower back.
Right.
He leans in and kisses her, and she's watching them. Jacinta does not pull away. She doesn't slap him. She doesn't say anything. I feel like Jacinta was playing both sides as well.
Was she in on it though with Neil though? Was she in on it like making because now I don't feel bad that she died because you got involved with Neil and y'all laughing about he and like it's almost like
That's what I was trying to think. Like, are you playing games? Not that that means that you deserve to die, but it was just like, what was the
gotta go.
point? What
Gotta
was
get a
the point?
morphine. You got
What was
to
the
die.
point? And you know what? I like the little Easter eggs that the author did put. Like, I feel like I remember when Cass was even talking about how Logan couldn't keep his eyes off of Jacinta, and neither could Neil. Neil was also following her with his eyes everywhere she went. It's just crazy that just nobody knew Jacinta and Neil were involved.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they're just like, he, let's take a trip to the mountain. Like, let me shove you off. Poor Jacinta. That's all I can say. I just feel bad for her because Neil is just crazy, just going
And
around killing
Neil
people.
was now with Brooke. So I'm like, I mean, it's
I
like
wish there was a prologue, epilogue, so we could see
epilogue, so we can
at the
see what Neil
entire
is going on
time.
and doing.
Yeah. 'Cause I never want Brooke to just die. That's not
Right.
it. But if I could have chose a character to die, it would have been
It
her.
would have been Brooke. I'd have kept Cass for
I would
sure.
have
I'd have
kept
kept
Cass.
Cass in
I
there.
would have kept Cass, especially because and Brooke, she just Jay. I mean, I've never been more furious at a character when she's just,
Facts.
you know,
Because now we feel,
Cass
but
apologized and I've forgiven her.
now let me ask you this, right? Because we do like I told you, we do things different over here. We don't do the stars. We don't do
We do
the
Mike.
rating one. We do mics. So if y'all know about the Source magazine, the Double XL from back in the day, they was giving 1 through 5 mics depending on how good the album was. So here at the Key and Jake Book Podcast, we're doing it with bookmarks. You heard it first. There's nobody else doing it with bookmarks. Since we on the topic of books and we talk all things books, we're gonna do our rating system the same way Double XL did their mic system, but we're using the
Bookmarks.
bookmark system.
Yep.
So, Key, this is our first book that we've covered. We are now finished with Sara Ochs' The Resort, right? What would you rate her book on a scale from 1 through 5 using the bookmark system?
I would rate this book a 3. I would give it 3 bookmarks. And I say that because it was very mysterious. I love how she keeps us on our toes while reading the book. You really don't know who did it until almost the very end of the book. And even though I didn't completely like the twist with Neil, it was still a good twist. I didn't
Right.
see it coming. And that's kind of how I judge my mystery books. Did I expect the twist? Did I see the twist coming? And I didn't. I took 1 star off for Cass's death. It really, I mean, I'm telling you, it really, really fucked me up. I just
Nah,
didn't
you good. You good.
like that. And then another star off, which I already told you, was because of the vagueness surrounding Brooke's history. I just didn't,
Right.
and I'm a woman, okay? And so when I read this book, it really, really offended me that a woman would go after another woman for her sexual assault and not the man who did it. And this book is written by a woman, I believe. So there was just something about that that just really hurt my heart. You know, like as a woman,
Hmm.
you don't go after the women. Like she did nothing. And it was just, why is this like, I couldn't understand why she wouldn't just have it plain cut and dry that Brooke was screaming, Cass heard her and didn't do anything. That would have literally, look, I justified. I get why you hate her, but for Cass to just, for Brooke to want to get revenge simply because Cass opened a door to a house.
I gave it 3.5.
Okay.
I had it at a 4 and I did go down a little bit. I gave it a 3.5. I feel like the novel was great. I feel like she did amazing on the novel. I wish she could have went into more about, like you say, the whole Cass Brooke situation. Like, was there more she could have did? You know, I wish she probably would have said, I ruined Eric's life too, but
Yeah.
now I'm over here to ruin his life.
Yes,
Because,
Jay, that
if
she
she'd have did something like that, where she caught both stories, she was like, I already went and did like a little page or two to say how she messed up Eric's life, and now I'm here to mess up Brooke's life. I'm here to get even with everybody. That would have been a check mark because I feel like the person that was there shouldn't have got away with the actual rape.
he
So
got
that
away with it.
I did take it. It wasn't a classic, and then I had to take a point off of that. But 3.5 is still good. I feel like I would definitely check out another book from this author.
Same. I would.
And I think she did well. You know what I'm saying? Like I think she invoked emotions in this book throughout this book. Cause as you see, we were very emotional. Even though we laid back on this review, we had our moments in this podcast. But I feel like she did a job invoking emotions throughout the book for the reader. If you do read it, I definitely recommend it. It's a book I would recommend. It does, and I feel like we tackled a lot on the book. We're not going to get every single page down, but we did give y'all chapter after chapter. We've covered pretty much every chapter in the book. And if there's something we missing that somebody else might have got, please sound off in the comments. Do you have
Yes,
anything
I
for
want to know
the?
what y'all think. Anybody who has read the book, like, did you agree with the twist at the end? How did you feel about Brooke's revenge plot on Cass? Did you
Mhm.
feel it was fair or not? Did you feel like Cass deserved to die? I'm just curious
Right.
what anybody else thinks. But same as Jay, it was a good book. It was a decent ride. I feel like we definitely gave y'all chapter by chapter. Y'all seen how emotional the book makes you, and that's really what reading is about. You know,
Mhm.
it's not a movie, but the fact that this author can write these words on the page and it evokes such emotion in us.
Facts. Facts.
And so I kind of want to bump it up to 3.5 like Jay as well, because I forgot about the fact that I was extremely emotional while I read this book.
Mhm.
And I read so many books that sometimes I become desensitized to the
Mhm.
stuff I read. It's like, oh, I just read it. But I was very like not emotional, but just emotionally charged while reading the
Right.
book. And that's a fun feeling to be just that invested in the stories. I
Right.
I, I agree with Jay. I'm gonna bump it up to
That's why I bumped it up to a 3.
3.5.
She got that point 0.5 for me because the evoking of emotions throughout the
Yep.
book.
And I think you're
I
right.
feel like she tackled that, you know what I'm saying, very well. But what can the people expect from us? Because this was our first review. How do you feel getting through our first book review?
I feel really good. It was really fun. And I've enjoyed the comments that we have had on some of our other snippets and YouTube shorts, and I can't wait to get into the next book. We got some really good stuff coming up. We're going to be reading some very good books. Going to be giving you guys more deep dive, and we hope that the next few books that we do, you guys will read with us. You know, we
Yes.
usually do 5 chapters at a time. We make it nice and
Mhm.
easy every couple of days, and then that way you guys can tune in and laugh and play and comment, and it's like we're in the Key and J book club. It's like
Right.
a book club, you know.
That's
Join
basically
our
what
book
we're
club.
doing.
Yes,
It's a book club. We just
it
waiting
is.
for everybody to join up because
Yes,
ain't nobody doing the reviews like we are.
nobody's
You
doing
know,
it like we
there's
are.
nobody doing it
We're
like we are.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. And when you start seeing people take our they can't be us. You can't be us. You can't have this type of emotion. You can't have this type of chemistry. You can't have this melanin going on,
Period.
and it just don't fall off the tree like that. Until next time, man, she's that reader. I'm just a speaker. Peace.